What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be doing some disassembly and maintenance on the QSP OSPREY. I really like this knife. Again, for under 50 bucks, you're getting 14C28 in micarta and a liner lock. Really well made. Just a couple little issues with this one, which is one of the reasons I want to disassemble it. The lockup is extremely early, but as you can see, it is not impacting the reliability of the lock. The problem is it has some lock stick, so I do want to go ahead and address that. I recommend WeHa bits to disassemble your tools. They make really good bits that are not going to be easy to strip out. You can pick up the whole pack, or you can just get the stubby driver, which is going to come with the WeHa bits and internal storage. I like the CRKT tool that is made by Scout Tools because of the fact that it fits in my Maxpedition organizer. That's the only reason that I don't have the WeHa bit out here, but the WeHa bit does give you some good leverage. I believe T8 in the pivot, and then I believe everything else is going to be, yep, T6. What I recommend is just taking apart the standoffs, because the pocket clip screw actually only sits on the micarta. So if you're okay with taking the scale apart with the liner, then you can just go ahead and proceed with taking out the standoff bolts, which again are going to be T6. Sorry, I can't remember if I mentioned that or not. A little hard to reach though with the will the magnet pick it out? No. Okay. We're just going to keep moving along. A little hard to reach with the pocket clip in the way. I totally missed the bolt. Sometimes with the micarta, it is a little hard to get the bolts out. That one came out okay. Let me just make sure I've unscrewed this one enough. Let me just see. Yeah, it's definitely loose. I just can't get my fingers down onto it because the pocket clip's in the way. So you might need to remove the pocket clip, but we'll see here in a second. Go ahead and remove your pivot. Bolt out. All the hardware is steel. Does not appear to have any Loctite, and that makes sense because with the micarta, it's probably going to stay on there. Yeah, so. And the good thing is there's barrels in here. Yeah, it's just sticking to the micarta, which is, there's not a whole lot that you're going to be able to do about that. It looks a little gritty. I am going to actually go ahead and remove the pocket clip. You don't need to do this for the disassembly, but because I am going to be messing with the liner lock, I am going to go ahead and just completely take the scale off, maybe? There we go. It is definitely loose now, I think. What's standing in the way? Is it the screw in the micarta? There we go. Let me move that out the way. I think that was the reason I could not. Oh no, that screw. No, it's still out. Let me move everything out of the way and see why this is not coming loose. Please tell me it's not glued to the scale. Oh man. Okay. Whew. Oh, it's just because, yeah, it was lightly glued. Look. Lightly glued on. Okay. What I recommend, if you have the coated version, is you wrap this with some type of duct tape or electrical tape to keep from doing too much damage to the coating. Mine is not coated, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Should be good to go. I am going to move this closer to the edge because it actually does make it easier to come to the edge. A very light grit sandpaper is all that you need, and I'm going to move away from the table, but just something to lube it that is not going to wear off easy. So you can see there's a little bit of lube there. What you'll want to do, probably clean some of that off, is just work your sandpaper over the lock bar a little bit to try to get rid of the lock stick, I would recommend putting firm pressure on the back of the, oh, I didn't mention what this is. This is a paint stirrer. So just use that to lightly sand and try to clean it away. And once it feels smooth, you can stop. You don't need to go very far or very hard on that lock bar.
A few moments later.
And once you've done that a little bit, you can see I scuffed up the, that's what I was saying, put some tape on there. But for me, it's a budget knife, so I'm not too worried about it. So hopefully this alleviates the issue. I am also going to try to move that lock bar over a little bit because the detent was a little light. So I'm hoping by adjusting the tune on this a little bit that I'll be able to improve the detent and go ahead and get that action back really snappy. Now that we have that taken care of, let's go ahead and focus on the maintenance of the knife. Go ahead, this has a sandwiched or a press fit, sorry, stop pin, which I love to see. And you can go ahead and remove your other bearing. At this point, I would finish cleaning everything off that you want to clean. If you want to use rubbing alcohol for extra good measure, do that now. And I would recommend making sure that you've cleaned that stop pin to make sure where you sanded, if you did have to adjust the tension on your lock bar, to make sure that is good to go. It is really grimy in here, so I'm actually going to hit this with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. The finish looks rough on the inside of this, rougher than I would have expected from QSP, because their quality is usually top notch. What you want to do next is grab your favorite lube. Go ahead and lube up your washers and pivot with the extra lube. Hopefully that'll fix some of the issues with the action on this knife too. I recommend reinstalling it the way it came installed. I believe they were both facing the blade, the smooth side closed facing the blade. So yeah, it definitely feels like it could have really good action. I'm not quite sure if it's because of how the lock bar was or what was going on that was causing it to feel kind of like it had some resistance. Maybe the blade was too light. It could be the blade was light as well. I'm going to go ahead and just give this lock bar, because I was working on it, a really good cleaning. And then I am going to drop a little lube right in front of the detent ball hole so the detent ball will pick it up. And you can go ahead and finish with the reassembly. Go ahead and install your scale. Make sure here. Yeah, it feels good now. Liner, then scale. Sorry, said that backwards. We'll go ahead and need the T6 for the body screws. We'll install the one to the back first. Come on now. Why won't you line up? There we go. Go ahead and tighten that one down. Oh. Is it spinning on the other side? Is it not lined up? No, it's not even lining up. What is happening here? Hold on one second. Let me try this. I think part of the problem, yeah, there we go. That lock bar, I think, was over too far. There we go. And don't over tighten these. You can really just snug them up pretty good without having to over tighten the body screws. Whoa, what is happening here? Why isn't this wanting to? Oh, it's the micarta. Ooh, it is a snug fit in that micarta. All right, that is snug. We'll go ahead and do the last body screw. Oh, it cooperated nicely. It must feel bad for nipping my finger earlier. And then these wire pocket clips are always so much fun to reinstall. I find with the pocket clips, getting the screw in the micarta a little bit. Oh, is this a T8? It is a T8. Well, that was nice of them. Let's T8 the the pocket clip screw, but not the body screws. Whatever works, right? No big deal. All right, that should be in there. And then go ahead and snug that on down. Once you meet resistance, just stop there. Knife looks nice and centered. Oh, the detent on it is much better. Oh, and the lock stick is gone. Yep, lock stick's gone. Detent is so much better. Just a little bit of play. Just gonna snug it up a touch more. Yeah, lock bar is gone. Detent is much better. It's definitely smoother firing, and it has more detent tune to it so that the ball is in the track a little bit more snug. So it's requiring a little bit more effort to fire out, which makes it snap out. So what I'm going to probably do is just indicate that in this disassembly video, I did touch up the lock bar, which the lock bar now looks like it's sitting at about 20 to 25%, which is better than what it was. And then it just, oh, it's going to break in. Did you see that? I did do that hard, but it's starting to want to fall shut. So I think this could break in nicely. So if it came tuned like it is right now from the factory at $50, this is fantastic value. Very smooth, and it definitely has a razor sharp edge. It definitely has left its mark on my little fingertip. I just need that to scab up. I got that Band-Aid on there pretty good. It didn't go super deep, but it went deep enough to kind of, you know, want to continue to bleed with just lightly cleaning it. But this is much, much better. The lock stick is all but gone. I mean, it has just a hint left, but I think that'll work out on its own. It feels way smoother than what it did before, and it is starting already to want to fall shut. So this is going to be awesome. So I'll make sure on the end of the review video, because I recorded the review right before I did the disassembly because I had been carrying it and fidgeted with it, and I wanted to get to the disassembly, cleaning, and maintenance on that lock bar. So I will put that on the end to make sure that folks tune in for this so that they can see what a difference it made. And let me bring it over to the mic. And apologies if you hear the heat pump in the background, it just cut on. So that's me going like this. Yeah, that is so much better. And it's, yeah, locked up solid. Man, if it came like this from the factory, guys, 50 bucks, 14C 28N micarta ceramic bearings, and dialed like this, this would be an awesome buy. Anyway, if this video helped you, do me a favor, leave a like. If you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along. And thanks to everyone out there that is regularly leaving likes, watching the videos, and commenting. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.